Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, Texas Model Home Tours. It's Alex with Evolve Real Estate Group here at eXp Realty. Today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the hottest, most anticipated new communities here in North Dallas. It's The Fields, located here in Frisco, Texas. And I have a special guest with me, guys. We're going to be talking with Kit Labat with Britton Homes, one of the very few selected home builders that will be building in the Fields. We're going to share with you a little bit about the community, a lot about Britton and the product that they build. So without further ado, let's jump in and get started. Kit, thank you so much for joining us. We're appreciative. We know you're busy, but thank you so much for taking time out to join us today.
And thank you so much for having me. I look forward to being a part of this, Alex. Great show, and I look forward to all the good information you have for families.
Yeah, we can't wait. And we're going to talk a little bit about the community. Definitely want to talk about your background and experience, talk about Britton, their experience and the product that they're bringing to the Fields. And then at the end, we'll let people know if they're interested in talking with you and Britton and learning more about the Fields, what that looks like. But sure, let's just jump right in and talk about the Fields development. I mean, this has to be one of the most anticipated, talked about developments I've seen in North Dallas.
Yeah, in fact, I had someone the other day, this will tell you how talked about it is. A couple I'm working with right now came in and said they're from out of the country, and that in their country, that it's on the news, it's on social media, that if you want to move to the US, the number one place you move to is Frisco, Texas. And this is on social media and the news, and you move to Frisco and the Fields. So that tells you it's not just in North Texas, it's not just in the US, it's actually a global situation taking place. It's a big deal.
Why do you think people are so excited? Like, what's making it a big deal?
So there are a number of reasons. You have the relocation of the PGA. Golf speaks to a lot of people. I think there is a moment taking place with a redevelopment of golf. You have the resorts that are transitioning here. Omni, you will have Dream hotels moving here later. You've got the transition of the mindset of master plan communities, how they're going to incorporate a lifestyle that is right next to shopping with the Legacy West. I think Dallas is having its moment. I'm born and raised in Dallas. There has never been anything like this where people are moving here to have shopping next to a lifestyle. Fields is what Burt Fields land and ranch used to be, the beautiful topography, the rolling land. People are ready for a change of pace, but they still want it to be urban dwelling. They still want to go shop and get to their Costco or their lunch and dinner right by them. And this is the time. They have cast a beautiful vision. They have worked hard to create running and biking trails, to create that essence that people want to belong. I had it happen on many occasions where families are relocating so that it's great-grandparents, grandparents, children, and grandchildren are all moving to the same area after COVID. They've learned how much they need community. And this has been created so that every generation, a multi-generational family situation can still be there without someone having to live in the same house or even in assisted living. It's an opportunity for a redevelopment of lifestyle living.
Yeah, lifestyle for sure. I've heard it be called the city within a city.
Yes.
Like, you really don't have to leave. I mean, the shopping, the dining, the developer who did Legacy West talking about how that was his test run for what he plans on doing in Fields West.
Yep.
What is it, 2 to 3 times larger, I believe is what they're saying that project's going to be?
About 3 times larger, and incorporate everything that they figured out they didn't do well. They went and made that their test run. Yep. So imagine parks. There's going to be a lake, a chain of lakes, right? The Ritz-Carlton saw the vision and now wants to come in and be part of it. You have everything that, even with the incredible experience, Legacy West, they thought it would take 8 years, and within 3 years, they were up and fully developed. Yeah. You hear now with Fields that they are ready to have this up and going. It may take 5-10 years, and I bet you're going to see a massive amount of demand. I really don't want to share how much of My list is for people wanting to come here, but it is exorbitant. The excitement, the frenzy that's here is overwhelming. People know about the fields, they see the vision, and they've grabbed a hold of it. They're running with it, and they're going to even make it better than it was going to be. I believe that.
Yeah. And you touched on that Legacy West. Like, that is an amazing area, but they definitely learned, right? Like, once you walk it, there's nothing to do. So by putting a park with a lake, like where you could actually hang out outside to just grab something to eat, do your shopping and leave, kind of making it more of an experience. And that's kind of the word I use with the fields, is everything is an experience, right? It's the quality of life, it's the work, life balance, everything. I mean, you can take your golf cart from your home down to Fields West. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable.
So I don't know if you heard, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead. No,
what
please.
else they talked about is they have had the PGA and some of their local parks within Frisco have worked to create an enhanced wetlands. So you will see animals that maybe you've never seen, extra birds, more that where schools will want to come and do field trips over there. You're going to see an entirely developed wetland area that has not been as enhanced as it is. And that's because PGA brought it in, wanted it for their golf courses. And now it's going to be created for the Frisco neighbors to enjoy. You're going to even see, I think the statistic was approximately after they develop all of this area, within 10 years, over $10 billion of additional development will take place. I mean, it's quite vast to even consider.
Yeah, and I live 3 miles from where the fields is being developed, and people don't understand how quickly things change. When I moved here in 2014, I was about as far north in Frisco. My road, which is now PGA, didn't connect into McKinney. It was all one lane, and I look back, I haven't been here 10 years. And so much happens so quickly. So we're definitely excited. We are at the PGA headquarters. My wife took lessons down there. They're doing so much for the community. So my son will be in the upcoming kind of like 4 or 5-year-old group where they're teaching them the basic fundamentals and enjoying it, making it gamifying it. But then they invited the moms to, hey, if your kids are doing this, you should do this so you can get in with your kids and learn how we're going to be. And my wife loved it. And we actually went to the Byron Nelson, just her and I was kind of like, you've never had an interest in golf, but she sees how it can bring the family together. And now we're excited this coming week to be at the first event opening up the PGA, the Senior PGA Championship, which is just a couple of days away from today when we're doing this video. So we're super excited. The Omni, 13 different restaurants, the Top Golf Simulator, the Ice House, like there's so much for families to do. And with the fields literally being tied to that, it's an experience.
It is an experience. Yeah, and they've got, I'm sure you've seen if y'all have already been there, what they have chosen to expand their view and create little putting centers. You don't even have to be a part of the PGA. You're part of the public. You get to come on and experience golf. It's bringing a new generation, just like your wife, someone that has never been a part of golf, and see an experience where, I like it. It gives me an understanding, and it's part of bringing family together. What's cool, you'll see that they have areas where, yes, the PGA pros can play, but there's a section that the ISD gets to have for high school students. So they're playing and practicing right alongside the PGA professionals. And that's what's bringing the whole school, the city, everyone to be a part of the excitement of PGA.
Yeah, I went to an event where somebody from the PGA was speaking. This is probably almost a year ago, as they were talking about the development. And, with how they collaborated with Frisco, with the independent school district, by providing them these driving range and lessons in their own unique area, they really have a vision to seeing a Frisco resident on the PGA Tour, being a championship winner. And it was interesting how that vision is casted now, and they're thinking 10 years, 15 years, 20 years into the future, but it was important to make it part of the community. So, I think that's one of the appeals to Frisco is everything they've done, even going back to the Star and how our high schoolers are playing football at a professional field indoors built by Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Everything has a community tie to it.
And what you hear, I think we're at the beginning of something here that you get once in a lifetime. Whereas families are coming in, I've seen this happen before, but not like this scale. And you see families coming in with 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and they have their golf clubs, they have their golf hats, and they've already been practicing, and they are already at the PGA enjoying it. Someone very close to us has been at the PGA already playing. He's 12 years old and got the first hole-in-one.
Wow.
Their family is always out there together since it opened. And their whole family is out there all the time. They never thought that it would bring so much family togetherness, and it brings them joy as a family. So a golf course, a PGA, is doing something that we didn't expect. We thought it would bring revenue or commercial, and it's bringing family back.
Yep. And
that's a beautiful gift.
Huge proponent of that. We were there Saturday, myself and my son. He's 4, he'll be 5 tomorrow. So happy birthday, Nat.
Happy birthday, yeah.
We're at the Ronnie there, and it was, again, just a 2-hour, they had 5 different sections taught up, all games, but all linked to a skill. And, dads got to go. We had to do everything opposite hand. So putting, chipping left-handed, so it's not like, I don't care how good you are. If you got to switch up left-handed, your kids get to see you flubbing shots and not looking great. Yeah. But it was just so awesome for them to get professional direction from a coach, not from dad. Dad just got to go and hang out and have fun and gamify it. And my son comes home and he's like, when do we get to go again? And that's, that's why my family picked Frisco. And we didn't know PGA 10 years ago, but we've heard the vision of what Frisco wanted to be about the schools and the family. So you're spot on. It's so special. People are going to absolutely love it. And, the fact that if you are a Frisco resident, you get some first dibs on golf, a nice discount too on golf. So let's kind of switch and let's talk about your background with Britton. We'll talk a little bit about Britton as well. How long has Britton, and so people know there's Perry and Britton. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Britton is the sister company to Perry Homes. Bob Perry created Perry Homes in the early 80s. He saw the need for affordable housing, but quality built. So when clients came in, he would give them more that they than typically could afford. There's what I always like to describe as there's quality builders and there's a quantity builder. Neither is wrong. My son and his wife, they needed something that they could afford at a low price. They will get to a Britton home eventually and a Perry home eventually, but right now they get what they can afford, and that's a quantity, right? Mm-hmm. Quality means that they were getting 2-year workmanship warranty, 10-year structural warranty, a lot of things that 7-inch baseboards. So with Bob Perry, he started Perry Homes, and then Kathy Britton is his daughter. She came on in the mid 2015 timeframe, and she is an attorney, had really done well, and was invited to come on. As she did, just saw an amazing vision to bring a luxury addition to to this line, and has just done incredibly well. So we've been in business 55 years. We are still family operated, not publicly traded. So I always like to say, in publicly traded companies, the stockholders are who you are responsible to the most, right? And I own stock, you own stock, but in a family-owned company, privately owned, we get to be the shareholders, and we get to have a lot of a voice. Makes it beautiful to have a 100% or 98% customer satisfaction warranty and an experience for clients to say, I love my home, I want to refer them. And you will see the quality finishes. Even when I get to show the families, a lot of things are not upgrades with us. When they go to the design center, a lot of things are already included. 8-foot doors, double ovens, the GE Cafe profile cooktops. Those are things that are standard for us. And you'll get to have a lot of things that typically play a lot in upgrades for what we get to give you just because you're a Britton family.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think people, I've had the privilege of doing a lot of Britton Homes on our YouTube channel, Model Home Tours, in Star Trail and some different areas. And that is so important that you're not having to spend your money upgrading things like trim and doors and cooktops. You could really put that into maybe a structural upgrade or some higher end countertops or backsplashes. It allows you really to use the money on the things that are important to you because you get so much included. I've really enjoyed Britton Home selling their product, showing their product. Are they just Texas, or are they outside of Texas as well?
Great question. So Bob Perry has the vision where it was just in the Texas market so far. Who knows what the future will hold, but we build best so far in Texas. We know the Texas climate, all brick homes, unless a buyer is just like wanting something specific. Brick homes, 90-mile wind warranty or wind rating. So those homes that get lots of hurricane force winds or hail, things like that. This is what we know best is the Texas weather and the Texas climate. So just mainly in the Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Hill Country market, that's where you will find Perry and Britton Homes.
Very cool.
And frankly, Britton is a Dallas market. So that luxury high-end market is specifically to Dallas. There is a specific Dallas buyer that you just find here, and Britton is catering to that Dallas buyer.
Fantastic. And talk a little bit about what Britton's vision is and what they're bringing to the fields. What's that product line going to look like?
Excellent question. So really, with the Fields developer, they have really refined their design guidelines. Most builder developers will have maybe 60 pages or 80 pages. The developer here has made very exclusive design guidelines to make it feel luxurious, to give just a moment for every home. You're going to feel such design diversity that Britton really went to the drawing board to create moments for every home. So for us, we will have a transitional design. There will be what we have named, what are called Tudor Revival, French Eclectic. You'll see some Texas Hill Country, and then a few of our modern farmhouses. There'll be mostly, a lot of them are white with the dark trim, or you'll see painted brick. Really what's desirable, but every one of them is going to have a moment. You're going to see, just a modern, but still a little bit nod towards the traditional feel.
Very cool. And I know the fields, the development itself, when you're talking residential, it's primarily the Brookside and then Preserve kind of being the higher elevation gated area. You guys are going to be starting off Brookside, correct?
We are starting off Brookside South. Okay. Those lots inside of Brookside South are going to have different lot sizes to accommodate a wide and a broad different buyer spectrum. There's anywhere in sizes from 33 lots, townhomes, all the way up to 70-foot estate lots. For Britton, we are going to be doing the 50 and the 60-foot lot sizes that have the front entry garages. We really want to give the predominant widest offering in that range. And so you'll see us giving both 1-story and 2-story homes. 50-foot lot sizes will be 120 foot deep. 60-foot will be about the same. And anywhere from about 2,500 square feet on our 50-foot lot sizes, I think you'll see 4,500 square feet, 4,500 plus on our 60-foot lot size should be expected. So that's really well accommodated.
Yeah, you're going to accommodate a pretty wide variety. I mean, 2,500 to 4,500 square feet really does encompass a pretty broad range of buyers in that area. You talked a lot about the different design. I think that's very important. We've been into some of the more cookie cutter neighborhoods where it kind of just looks like the same home on repeat. So I think that's going to be really exciting to see that as well. Do you guys have an idea of price points? And obviously price points move depending on the market, supply chain. Is there an estimated entry level you would expect?
So far, we received our phase 1A lots. I had 7 available, and I just began pre-selling. My pre-sale of my 2,500 square foot lot was starting at $899. We did it based on pre-agreeing with the designs guidelines, and it all in, I think we're going to be at about $950, $975, and that's for a 1-story, 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a garage. My 2 stories that are about 3,800 square feet. Now this is on a 50-foot. I'm looking at about almost 1.3. Okay, and that's again phase 1. But that's with all of the design selections that custom buyers really are desiring in the fields. It can be somewhere in between there, but that's really what we're finding. That's
going to be a really well appointed, beautiful.
It is.
With its finishes. So you have 7 lots, phase 1. Do you know how many lots Britton will have or ideally is aiming for in the overall development?
I don't have a complete idea of that. I know we are in the phase 1A and 1B. I'm sure they're always looking at their best options, so we'll see what comes available. But we do have positions for both the 50-foot and the 60-foot. So we'll see what happens next, right?
Awesome. And you guys are currently building your model home right now, right?
We are just building the model home for 50-foot. We're working on the 60-foot for plans at this time and approvals. The developer really wants to make sure it fits a good design scheme and is just each moment, if every home has its moment. So they're making sure it's going to be well appointed.
Awesome. And okay, so that one's just kind of getting started. You've got one in the approval process. When do you think that model is done? 6 months out?
I bet we're going to be finished about October, November.
And on your pre-sales, do we know when delivery might be for those?
So they already had received their permits. So all of the first 7 homes had received their permits almost in a showcase inventory home situation. So they are exclusively going to the design center, but they already had their permits. So I'm expecting a completion of around 6 to 8 months. So between November to February.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So great. I only have one of those homes left.
Okay. So
they went in a week.
If somebody's interested, they better call immediately. Yeah. Let's talk about the fields as far as amenity wise. What, as a homeowner moving in there, buying into the community, all the exciting, what type of amenities are people expecting in there?
Well, I'll speak exclusively to Brookside South. Brookside South we still call it Fields, but this is going to be the final little piece on the corner. Brookside South has a large amenity section, and they are going to have 2 pools, one that's an adult, one only, and one that's going to be a large pool. They have a fitness center, 2 pickleball stations, a tennis ball section, and inside the amenity center are multiple hangout spaces, reserved spots, party places. The Brookside South is also adjacent to a Fields Park that is going to allow you to have, like I talked about, the natural wetlands, and it also abuts the PGA. So they're going to be able to connect to all of that, and it's right by Fields West. So you will be able to connect if you have a golf cart, if you ride bikes, have electric scooters, any of that, you're going to have connectivity to all of the lifestyle, right? If you want to go get drinks, if you want to go ride with the kids over to Lululemon, the kids want to get makeup or any ice cream, everything is at your disposal. So it's not just the amenities of the community, but it's riding down to meet the family friends for dinner, and it's all bike or golf cart related.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw some renderings early on, so I don't know if it's the actual amenity center, but the renderings I saw were just the larger pool, kind of that infinity edge, overlooking the links of lakes.
Yeah. So it's gonna have the chain of lakes. Yeah.
And that's gonna be pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that's probably the same renderings I saw, and that the budget had blossomed from like a couple of million up to 13 million. Wow. Is the last I heard. Yeah, so it's doing wonderful. It's going to be the place to be, right? I mean, if you want to be there, or if you want to go to Fields West.
Yeah, that's exciting. So we have one home left, and we're in section the 1A, but you do have some stuff in 1B. If somebody's watching this and they want to get some more information about availability, what's happening with Britton and Fields, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of me is I'm always available by my phone or email. 1B for Fields will be coming out probably June to July. I believe it's going to be more like July, but it's my phone number is going to be 469-357-8927. 469-357-8927, and that's a phone number that would ring here. You can call, chat, and say, Kit, I really want a corner lot, or I want this size lot, and we can talk through different floor plans, always adding through the selection process. Exteriors, I would tell you the earlier the better, for if you want the white brick or you want the Texas farmhouse, or if there's a darker brick you want, right? The earlier they get to choose, the better, because then once those selections are taken, you have to find something else that's your backup, and it gets a little more tricky, right? I'm sure, Alex, you've gone through that process, and you get to find out what's left over.
Yes, if you've got your heart set on something like white brick or farm, you got to be one of the first, because if a neighbor picked it, I'm sure there's all sorts of stipulations, so you're not repeating similar homes, things of that nature. So absolutely. Yeah, we will post all your contact information out below this video when we go live as well. So feel free to reach out. Kit, I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you so much for jumping on, talking PGA, talking Britton Homes. We wish you lots of success. I can't wait 24 months from now to see what this community looks like. It's just going to be breathtaking.
Well, I hope the best for you, and thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to see what it does look like in 2 years, and you'll have to come back and we'll say, well, remember when there was phase 1B?
Yeah. Well, as soon as that model home is there, we'll be there, and it'll be a showcase feature on our Everything Dallas Real Estate YouTube channel for our model home tour. So we can't wait to do that as well.
We have a date.
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.